Let's see. What's going on, everybody? It is Monday, September 13th. It's football season, and the Steelers beat the Bills. Let's go. If you're new here, this is H&J Talk Sports. And Harry, do me a favor. Cue that new intro, Harry.
Here we go.
The Steelers will never be last in the league in running again.
It's a good time to get hot.
Holy crap, guys. That's pretty cool.
And a Rabu.
Najee Harris, running back, first round. I think the Steelers will target him. What's up, everybody? H&J Talk Sports. I hope you like the new intro. Anyways, it's officially football season for real. And we have some good news because we finally got a win for one of our teams. The Steelers beat the Bills. First off, if you're new here, if you're returning, I'm Joe. That's Harry. Harry, what's going on?
What's going on? It was a good football weekend.
It was a good-ass football weekend. Boy, NFL just hits different. I don't care. It hits different.
NFL's back. College week 2, not bad.
College week 2, we'll talk about that today. We're going to get into, of course, the Steelers game, of course, the WVU game. We got a little bit of Penguins news, not good news to talk about later in the show. We're going to get into our previews for next week. Steelers, Raiders, West Virginia, Virginia Tech. But let's start it off with some Steelers, Harry. First off, before we get into the Bills, the news that started the week was that TJ Watt deal. How about that?
It's good. I mean, you had to figure it was a matter of time. He's one of the best defensive players in the league.
Highest paid defenseman in the league now. $80 million guaranteed up front.
He deserved it.
He did deserve it. The rumor was floating around that he kicked in the door. He was tired of negotiations. I'm guessing he did the famous Watt kick, kicked down the door and told the Steelers that he was accepting the offer, going over his agent's head.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true because later it came out that he said his agents called him with the deal, but I'm choosing to believe he kicked down the door and accepted it himself. He said, enough of this negotiation. I'm taking it. So TJ Watt finally signs his deal after missing all of training camp. But more importantly, Harry, how do you look on the field?
And I thought he played well. Him and Ingram.
Ingram was a beast, an animal.
That's a good combination.
It is. The whole line, my God, were they? And the Bills, they racked up, I think, 4 or 5 holding penalties. It could have easily been 4 or 5 more that entire game that wasn't called. Even more. They were pretty much holding every play.
Between those two and Hayward.
They
were causing all kinds of problems the whole
animals. Game. And that was a pretty good Bills line. Despite the holding penalties, that's a solid line.
No, I mean, they played great. They're in the backfield all day, blowing up runs, rushing Allen. They just complement each other really well.
They do. And what's the price? Well, first, let's say, of course, the Steelers won. It ended up 23-16. Joe was very close. I said 10 points. Bills made that late kick to bring it to 7, but it was a great game. And one thing that surprised me, I said in our preview of the game last week when we were talking, I said I was confident in the line. One thing I was worried about was the secondary. Let me do a complete 180 on that. The secondary was freaking fantastic.
They played good, really good, a lot better than I was ragging on them all summer.
Trey Norwood had a great game. Sutton had a great game.
Sutton was all over the place.
He was all over.
Heard his name all day.
All day. He was the most notable player in the backfield. I mean, he was a beast. Pierre had a great play there at the end of the game. Huge play. They were great. They really surprised me.
Well, I mean, that was supposedly the weak spot of the defense, and they play like that. That defense is the best, if not one of the best.
Yeah.
Defense in the league. They played, all over the place, playing great. Really shut them down. Really kept Pittsburgh in the game in the first half when the offense couldn't do anything.
Saved the game.
They were just making plays over and over and causing fumbles. Caused tons of problems. I mean, that's amazing.
And
Start to finish.
let's not forget, the Bills are freaking good.
And the Bills,
They're one of the best teams in the league, guys. It's not like a walkover game here. This is a very good team. And the defense, the Steelers defense might be better than last year, which last year I think they were top 3. If they can play like that all season and we don't get a lot of injuries, my goodness, look out.
Yeah, that's the key. There's injuries. If they're healthy, they're better than last year.
One thing that looked really bad. I mean, we all knew the line was going to be bad, right? It surprised me how bad it was, and it surprised me how much it affected the offense. I really thought, Najee, listen, he had a good game. He didn't do much. That line got eaten up so bad, especially in the first half. Now they adjusted and they did a lot better in the second half, but that first half, man, he was running into walls every time. Yeah. What I am surprised is that they didn't pass him the ball more.
So they didn't pass the ball more?
To Najee. I thought after he got stopped in the run, they would use him that way, but they went to him once or twice. He didn't catch it.
They tried a couple times. He kind of wasn't there.
They were bad throws by Ben, though, those 2 plays.
They were. I think I remember one of them was like a long third down. I don't think Najee was really looking for the ball.
Yeah.
On that one.
Yeah, that one he did turn kind of late. So that wasn't all. It was a bad pass too, but yeah, he turned late on that. So I think he finished with 45 yards. So
yeah, a lot of it was on one big run.
Yeah. Yeah, he had that one big one, I think in the 4th quarter maybe, or late third.
Late third or 4th, something like that.
So not the day we expected for him, but I think he'll get better as the line gets better.
You got to have a line.
Yeah.
They were all over him as soon as he touched the ball.
The line is beat up too. So maybe if we get some players back next week, it will improve some.
Yeah, I think that's the key is if they're improving from week to week, then you're in good shape. That's all you can ask for. It's a brand new line. They had one starter from last year. You can see it. I mean, it shows. So.
It did show today, and it mattered more than I thought it would. But hopefully we get Zach Banner back. I don't know if his injury's long-term. Get some people back, get him in there. As long as they get better. I mean, like week 1, the Bills, this is one of the toughest teams you'll face. So, and their line was good. They were all over Ben today, the defense. So, but they gotta improve week to week. I was surprised too. They didn't really use their tight ends today. Usually Ben likes to go to the tight ends, but they kind of weren't in the playbook.
Yeah, you didn't see a lot of it.
I think Freiermuth had maybe 1 or 2 catches, and I don't think Ebron had a pass at him at all today.
I remember he had at least 1.
Did he? He might have had 1. Yeah, usually Ben likes to go to tight ends, but you didn't see him. Chase had some big plays, and Juju had some big plays.
Well, it might be the new offense too,
Yeah, it could be.
It's a little different.
Juju got blown up that one play. Jesus Christ.
Did.
He got up though. The hit, after you saw the replay, I don't think the hit was as bad as it looked in the first real time, but
he was dishing it out too. I mean, I remember there was at least one play he caught the ball kind of short, just completely ran over the corner.
And that is the most underrated part of Juju's game. Is his yards after catch. He barrels through guys. He's tough. He doesn't get the credit because he's seen as this TikToker in this soft new generation, but he's kind of got a little bit of Hines Ward in him.
A little bit.
He busts through guys and he gets those tough yards.
Receiver. He's strong. He's and he'll fight for yards. He'll come at you. He doesn't go down easy.
He does. How do you think Ben looked today?
I don't think he looked great. He finished 8 for 32. I don't know, maybe if it's just being rusty, maybe it's getting used to the new offense. Maybe I think it hurts. Not having a line is tough because you're rushed. Yeah. Even when you have time, you're rushed because you've been getting that pressure all game. And I think that probably affected him.
100%. And I think in the second half, when you saw the line got better and he adjusted more, we saw more of the Steelers. It is a new offense, and he's probably kind of rusty. He only played one preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take a while. I mean, we've seen in previous years, it takes him a week or two to get warmed up usually. So I think he'll get it. Most important thing, we got to get the run going. So whether that's Najee doing different things or that line just getting better at pushing, making gaps, they got to push people out. We only saw Najee today. We didn't see any of the other running backs. So he definitely got the full workload.
16 carries, 45 yards.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as that 18-yard run.
Mm-hmm. And as good as the defense was today, surprisingly only one turnover.
Yeah.
Which was that fumble.
I will say the running game is going to have to improve.
It has to. And I have faith it will. I really think Najee's the guy. It's just that line's got to get better at making holes for him.
He is the guy. He's got talent. You can see it.
Yeah.
But he'll get better.
Man, the biggest play of the game, I can still hear my throat a little bit. I lost my voice, was that punt block or that kick block for a touchdown. How about that?
That was the difference in the game.
It was. It made the game right there. Who had that on their agenda for Monday night or Sunday opening game against the Bills?
Yeah, and that was huge.
It was huge. It turned the whole momentum. It really did. It was all defense from that point. The defense made a huge play, got the points up, and then the offense was able to get going after that. But man, we went to that, scoreless too. I also think this is the first time under Mike Tomlin the Steelers have won after going into the half scoreless. Before today, they've never won.
When you have a good defense, you can do things like that.
Yeah. So who called the Steelers beating the Bills week 1, by the way? Joe did.
That was me?
No, it wasn't you. You were wrong, sir, along with most people. The national media all picked the Bills. They're all wrong as usual. I'm interested to see what the narrative on the Steelers is this week. Are we going to get what we got last year where, the Bills weren't really that good? Were the Bills overhyped? Or are they actually going to give the Steelers some credit?
I think the Steelers will get credit.
I don't think you can deny that defense.
I don't think it was mistakes. It was the defense was shutting them down for a lot of
the Bills actually looked really good. They were slinging the ball.
They're a good team.
Plays. Yeah. So yeah, it definitely wasn't a Bills self-destruct by any means.
No.
And they were getting some leeway with the refs too, with those holding calls. So they had it all going for them. Steelers stepped up. God, that defense. I can't wait to watch next week now. Jesus. Steelers defense is the best defense.
Yeah. They really took away a lot of deep throws. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a lot of deep throws.
The secondary was so impressive. Like, that's the biggest thing today. We know the front was going to be huge. T.J. Watt, Melvin Ingram did better than I expected, but we still knew. But man, I did not expect the secondary to shut it down like that.
You're getting pressure, and these corners don't have to cover as long. It helps all around when you're able to do that.
Yeah, but they didn't. Let's be honest. The Bills line did a good job at giving Josh Allen some time. Like, he was rushed. We got in there today for sure, especially Ingram on a few plays, but he had a lot of time, especially in that first half. And the secondary really made sure he had nowhere to go with it.
He was trying.
They made him run the ball. A lot of those Bills drives were him running out of the pocket and getting first downs himself.
Yeah.
Took away the options. So Steelers, I don't want to get into next week yet. We're going to cover that at the end of the show. We'll talk Steelers Raiders. We record this Sunday night, by the way. What's Monday morning anyways? Raiders play actually Monday night tonight at the Ravens. So we really don't know what to expect from the Raiders yet. They'll probably not be that good this year. But we'll get into that at the end of the show. But first, I guess for the rest of the NFL, anything surprise you this week? Other than Green Bay getting mangled?
Yeah, I didn't expect that. Cincinnati beat Minnesota.
I did not see that. I actually, for For you guys that don't follow us on Twitter, H&J Talk Sports, I posted which was more surprising, the Bengals winning or the Green Bay getting destroyed. I think all of you said Green Bay.
Yeah.
Which I actually, if you watch our show last week, I said, I don't think Green Bay is going to be as good as people think this year. That said, I didn't see him getting completely stomped in week 1, honestly.
And we play them. So.
Yep. What else? The Browns, in epic fashion, lost to Kansas City.
They played well, though.
It was a good game. They blew it in the second half. But yeah, it was good. Titans lost. Titans got beat pretty bad, Harry.
Yeah.
Is our schedule not as scary as we thought?
It's tough. Arizona's good. I'm not too surprised by that. Arizona's pretty tough. I'm probably more surprised. The margin's a little surprising, but
that margin is very surprising. 38-13.
They added JJ Watt.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray. You got Hopkins in there. That's a good team.
It's a good team. Interesting week. A lot of surprises. We'll see what next week brings. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. And if you haven't, subscribe to H&J Talk Sports, your number one favorite show for all things Steelers, West Virginia, and Penguins, and whatever else we want to talk about, like UFC or whatnot. Speaking of college, we got some news that the Big 12 has officially expanded this week. Harry, can I have you do something for me real quick?
What's that?
Tell me the news. I want to give our viewers my initial reaction of hearing the Big 12 is expanding by adding these teams. So if you could, give me the news, and I'm going to give my live reaction to this.
The Big 12 is officially expanding. They're adding BYU, UCF, was it Cincinnati, and who's the last team I'm forgetting? Houston.
So
it's survival.
So that's my reaction. So what? Listen, we can debate all day about money, about politics, about what you guys think in the comments, about what they think everywhere. West Virginia needs to get out of there. I don't care. Who cares?
They will. But I mean,
who cares? I don't care about playing in BYU. I don't care about playing Houston other than, maybe seeing Dana come back and getting stomped. That would actually be interesting. I'd see that once or twice. I don't care about playing UCF. I want to play Pitt. I want to play Virginia Tech. I want to play Rutgers, Louisville. Give me some G's. Who cares? Who cares, Harry?
To me, it's better that the Big 12 did that. It's not a permanent fix.
It's good for them. They're in survival, is what they're doing.
It helps the conference because now the conference is going to stay together, but you still have issues. Mm-hmm. Any team that gets an invite is gone.
West Virginia still needs to go.
It's basically what happened with the Big East in the past when they added Louisville and Cincinnati.
And you know what? Cincinnati's not bad. BYU's been pretty good. UCF's pretty good.
Those are decent teams.
Mm-hmm. But who cares? I have no desire to see West Virginia play any of those teams except Houston at home. That's the only thing I want to see. Anybody else? Who cares?
It's better than the Big 12 breaking up and you ending up in the AAC.
It is. But you know what? This buys West Virginia time to get out. That's what I see this as. I don't want to see West Virginia accept it and say, all right, we got our Big 12. No. Smile and work on your invitation elsewhere. That's what you need to do if you're West Virginia.
They know how this goes. They've been through it before.
I hope so. We know how this goes. I don't know if they know how it goes.
What can you do if you're not getting an invite to one of those 4 conferences?
You gotta grease the wheels. Do what you gotta do. I don't know. Pay somebody off.
Behind the scenes, are they still trying to get in? Yes.
I hope. But they got to get out. I don't know. I mean, good for the Big 12. It's a survival. But, the way that even ESPN during the West Virginia game was selling, how many times during that broadcast did we hear the announcer say West Virginia belongs in the ACC? I said at least 3 or 4 times during the broadcast.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, it makes sense. And guys, you can argue in the comments all day about money and profit sharing. Listen, maybe, I don't know. I'm talking from a football standpoint, an athletic standpoint. WVU belongs in the ACC. 100%.
They do.
And there's no arguing with that, I don't think.
Depending on what side you're at, depends on if it's worth it.
Yeah.
If you're an ACC team, do you want to split your money among another team?
Nope.
Does the WVU bring in more money to the conference
I think they do. I think, we went over the TV numbers. If you're watching freaking WVU and one of these other lower teams in the conferences, your ratings go up. I think your attendance goes up with travel. Because WVU fans will travel hard to the Carolinas and to Pitt.
Man, but I don't see a network paying more because the conference added WVU.
I don't know. Maybe not. Again, from a football standpoint, it makes sense. I'm a fan. I don't care about the numbers. I just want to see West Virginia play these teams. I want them in the conference. I want them traveling to the Carolinas.
If you're WVU, if you're a football fan, yes, it's good. Yes. You get old rivalries. Geographically, it works. You're closer. You're going to play teams you've played before. You're not doing these trips halfway across the country.
Yes.
But in the end, it all comes down to money. And
it does.
People that have the money, they don't want to share it.
But I'll leave that to people with more important jobs than me to figure out. But as a football fan, just make it happen. That's all I'm saying. So don't get mad at me in the comments. That's just what it is. If you're a West Virginia football fan, this is what you should want to see. But let's get into West Virginia. West Virginia stomped whatever that team we played that no one's ever heard of, Long Island University, 66-0. Good. They were supposed to.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything to me.
It doesn't. Like I said last week, we talked to, or maybe the week before, one of the things I liked about Neil Brown is West Virginia stomps the teams they're supposed to stomp, and they did. I tell you, I like that goose egg better than I like the 66 points. I like the fact that they didn't score.
It doesn't mean anything. This was a no-win situation. You're either going to do what you're supposed to do, or you're going to look bad.
We got to talk about the game, though, Harry.
But I mean, I don't see anything that makes me feel better about the week before. I don't see anything that makes me look forward.
Definitely not. Well, I do see something that makes me feel a little bit better. And here's what it is. We got to see Garrett Green. So now I feel like in a situation where Deggy gets pulled, which my God, WVU fans are all over Twitter still calling for Deggy's head. Guys, I'm with you. I'm not a Deggy fan. I've made that very well known. I don't think he's, more than a game manager, but I don't think you pull him yet. Now, if he goes in and he bombs Virginia Tech, now you've seen Garrett Green. We've seen what he can do. We've seen him run. We've seen that he can throw. Maybe Neil Brown feels more comfortable putting him in a game.
He should. I don't know. To me, it means absolutely nothing. I don't feel any better. I want to see him against a decent team. I can't tell you even if I don't know if he was playing because they wanted to get him some good experience. He was just playing because the game was over.
Both.
Let's see what happens against Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
If Daggy sucks, you got to put this guy in, and let's see how we do from there. I don't know. I don't know what Brown's going to do. I don't trust that he would put him in.
I will say one thing that did concern me in this game was even though we won 66-0, the line still did not look good against this team that no one's ever heard of. If your line is struggling against Long Island University that people from Long Island doesn't know existed, what are you going to do against Virginia Tech? So that's if you can come out of a 66-0 victory concerned, I'm concerned about that.
Time's running out. Now you got 2 tough games next.
One thing I did like from Neil Brown, which is just a little pet peeve of mine. I like the fact that he went for it on every fourth down in a meaningless game. I hate coaches like in preseason and the NFL even, you're 1-4 or 1-4 and you don't go for it. Like it's preseason. Shouldn't you use this opportunity to practice that?
Yeah.
I hate it when coaches kick on in preseason on 1-4. I love that he went for it every fourth down. Even I think there was one that was like 4-9 and he went for it. Good for him. Get those reps in, get your guys ready for those plays. Yeah. Okay. So West Virginia beat LIU, who's a team apparently. Most importantly, WVU versus Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech beat UNC 17-10 in the first week, Harry. Now, I think UNC, I've said this before, is overrated, but Virginia Tech still beat them, and they're a highly ranked team. This week, Virginia Tech stomped Middle Tennessee 35-14. That's another game, kind of who cares, I guess. This is going to be a tough game. Virginia Tech's defense is very good, and their line is very good.
Yeah. It's going, their offense isn't very explosive. It's going to come down to defense.
Yeah, their offense isn't good. This is going to be a defensive battle. Who makes the mistakes? The line worries me. It makes me think we're not going to have any offense.
Our defense is going to have to show up for the whole game because they can't have a
Yes.
bad quarter like they did against Maryland, and we're going to lose.
Definitely. This is.
But I don't have faith in the offense.
No. And I don't have faith. That's another thing that concerned me in that LIU game. Letty Brown did not run for over 100 yards in that game. He's having a tough season, and I don't think it's his fault. I think it's the line. But, man, if Letty Brown can't break 100 yards versus LIU, who do you get 100 yards against?
There's no passing threat. He had one good quarter against Maryland.
Well, the wide receivers didn't look horrible. They look pretty good. Sam James had a really good game.
Against who?
I know.
LIU?
I know. They're
I'm
nobody.
not telling anybody they look good.
You got to build these tiers, though.
Everybody's going to look good when you're playing a team that has no business being on the field with you.
Yeah.
Business.
For sure. We learned a lot this week. Is Virginia Tech really good? How bad is West Virginia? We learned a lot.
Can't tell anything.
I hate to, one thing Neil Brown said to his team too after the first week. We lost one game, week 1. Let's not throw away the whole season over that.
No.
And he pointed out teams like Iowa State who lost week 1 and still came back and, almost won the conference and had a great season. So it's not impossible, but, things are still concerning. We're seeing the same issues as last year. Like nothing's changed over the summer. And the line is worse somehow.
You have a great chance to redeem yourself this week. You started off bad. I mean, this is a big week.
It's huge.
I mean, we said before the season, Maryland and Virginia Tech, you have to win those games. We lost to Maryland. Virginia Tech is having a good year so far, 2-0. I don't feel like Virginia. I don't feel like I do. Like when we're playing Oklahoma, where I don't feel like we have much of a chance at all.
Yeah,
I feel like we have a very real chance to win this game, being at home, being the strength of Virginia Tech is their defense. So we don't have to have an offense that's going to keep up with them all game.
Yeah, definitely.
The key to the game is going to be the defense is going to have to play good and not put us in a hole to where we're going to have to rely on our offense to keep up.
Yeah.
So I feel, I mean, we have a decent chance. Would I say we're going to win right now? No, but I would say it could go either way.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we go in there and we get the win on Saturday. And you redeem yourself. Then you're 2-1. You just beat the 15th ranked team in the country.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like we said, if West Virginia loses to Maryland, 9-3 will feel like 3-9, which it does right now. But if you beat Virginia Tech, that feeling could turn around pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to win. If you lose this game, though, the season's pretty much wrapped. I don't know what you do. Like, honestly, I hate to be doom and gloom week 3, guys, but if you lose to Virginia Tech and you're losing to Oklahoma, uh, that's a hole you're not digging out of. I guess the silver lining so far is the rest of the Big 12 hasn't looked too hot either. Texas lost. Texas got demolished, by the way. Iowa State lost. So
Iowa State played a good team, though.
They did. They played Iowa, who's good.
They were ranked number 10?
Yeah.
And Iowa State's 9.
Yeah.
So I don't criticize that loss. Texas got beat.
Texas got beat by a horrible team.
That wasn't a good loss. I'm not gonna say horrible, but that's a team you should beat. If you're back.
I would say horrible because last year I think they were like 3-7, and the year before that they didn't win a game.
Well,
now I've heard they're better this year, but you hear that about every team every year. They're pretty much the Kansas of that conference.
No, I wouldn't
in
say that.
2019, they didn't win a game, Harry.
I don't go that far.
They did not win a game in 2019.
But
they won 3 games last season. They're not good. Don't undersell it. Texas sucks. So that made me feel good. In Oklahoma, they've been winning, but they've been struggling a bit here and there too.
They look good this week.
They did.
And I have zero faith that we're going to be competitive.
We're not beating Oklahoma. I'm just going to say that. I'm
talking about competitive. I'm talking about the game not over.
Oh, competitive? Not from what I've seen in the first, I need to see Virginia Tech. If it's a team that I saw in Maryland, no, it's not competitive.
It may be 28 or 35-7 or something in the first half.
Our defensive played good. Oklahoma struggled a little bit on offense.
That's going to be a different beast, but we'll talk about that next week.
We will. We'll talk about that next week. So Virginia Tech, Harry's key to the game is defense. I think, defense got to shut it down, but I feel like too, you got to get Letty Brown going this week. If Letty Brown can't get going this week, you're in trouble. We talked about before the season, the offense has to run through Daggy and Letty Brown, and so far those guys aren't getting it done. Whether you blame the line or whatever, but he's got to get some yards here. So defense, Letty Brown. Care to make a prediction? Are you predicting loss, win?
I'm going to be optimistic. And since I'm going to be at the game, I'm going to say.
Well, that's right. I forgot. Everyone, Harry's going to be at the game. So if you see him there, say, what's up? Look for Harry at the game, guys.
I'm going to go 24-21, West Virginia.
That sounds like a pretty good. That's what I would say too. 24-21, field goal win. I'll go with you on that. I'm going to be optimistic. Honestly, I think they're going to lose, but I don't know.
We're going to will them to victory.
We're going to will them. We're both going to go W. Harry says 24-21. That sounds pretty close to me. I'd say 24-21. Probably win by a field goal. Defense can hold in the first half, and we can figure out how to get the offense going. Whew. What do you guys think? Find Harry at the game. That's the goal. Who can find Harry at Virginia Tech, West Virginia on Saturday? Harry, what section will you be in?
It doesn't matter. I'll be around.
He'll be around.
I'll be around.
He'll be around. Go find him. Say what's up. Post a selfie. # H&J Talk Sports if you find Harry. There you go. West Virginia versus Virginia Tech. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. What are your score predictions? Do you think we can pull it off? Go subscribe if you haven't, by the way. Anything else, Harry? Got anything to add to that one?
No, I think that's about it.
Sound good?
Let's see how this, if our season's over or get a new.
Next week we'll have a video. You'll see the caption is either season over or is West Virginia good? There will be a video with one of those headings next week.
It would go a long way.
It will. We haven't talked about the Penguins in a long time, but they had some devastating news this week. Sidney Crosby has had wrist surgery. He's out 6 weeks at least. Now, The tweet was cryptic. It said he missed, I don't know if it meant 6 weeks into the season or 6 weeks from the day he had his surgery, which was like last week. Since it said the way it was worded, he'll miss most of training camp. I'm guessing that means 6 weeks starting from his surgery.
Not good.
I was going to make a video. I never got the chance. I was going to do a Penguin video anyways. The Penguins signed Brian Boyle to a tryout. Brian Boyle's a player I've been wanting to see for the Penguins for years, but he's old now. So I was going to say, I don't like this. I don't understand it. But now I see why it makes sense, because you're already down Malkin and now you're losing Crosby. Now I see why you bring Boyle in to have him center your fourth line till Crosby gets back at least. So that makes more sense to me now. Man, they also signed goaltender Louis Domingue. I like him. I think he was very good a couple of years ago. That's another depth signing. I think he's a guy you could bring up to back up in case of injuries or to play in a pinch. He's a little older now too. But man, like we talked about with the Malkin injury, at this age, I've seen a lot of hockey players not look the same after wrist surgery.
Yeah, when you get older, man, it takes longer to recover from that stuff.
I've seen young hockey players. Steven Stamkos from Tampa is a huge one, has never looked the same after coming. Now, I think he had some leg injuries, but I'm pretty sure he had a wrist injury at some point as well. Wrist injury is hard to come back from when you're a hockey player at any age, but when you're 34 years old, this is going to be interesting to see how Crosby looks when he comes back. And Malkin coming back from major surgery too. I can't remember what that was. It was on his legs. It might have been an ACL or something. Or tendon surgery. Not looking good for the Penguins, guys. I don't know. I need some good news here.
Coming.
It's going to be, our center depth to start the season is Jeff Carter on the first line. Teddy Bluger. And then you're signing Brian Boyle, who I don't know how old he is, like 40, to a tryout. It's going to be a rough start to the season, guys.
It doesn't matter how you start. F it. I'd rather start slow and terrible and finish strong and get through the first round of the playoffs.
That's true. I mean, I just hope they can not get buried early. 6 weeks isn't bad if it starts from training camp. So, that means he only misses a few weeks of the season, but whew. We'll see.
It's a long season.
I'm surprised the Penguins didn't make more moves. I expected with the new GMs that the Penguins would make a lot more moves this offseason. They really haven't done much. They've hired a lot of staff. They've made staff changes. So we'll see. Keep you guys updated on that. Training camp starts soon. That's exciting. We're getting really close to hockey season. We got football and we're going to get hockey soon. God dang. Steelers and Raiders. Next Sunday, 1:00, right? It's 1:00 game too. Raiders play tonight, so we haven't got to look at them yet. We know our Steelers defense is mean. Harry, does anyone worry you on the Raiders?
Not really. I like Ruggs. He could be a decent player coming into the second year.
Josh Jacobs.
He's okay. I don't know. I'm not too worried. I think the defense should thrive.
Yeah.
This game. I say that, but the Steelers are known to play down to their opponents sometimes.
Yes, a lot of the times.
You don't expect them to lose or anything, and they play terrible, and next thing you know, they lose. And this seems like one of those games, especially after the emotional high from this week, beating a team that everybody thought you were going to lose to.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of people's eyes, the Bills were the second best team in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is going to open a lot of eyes. So hopefully we continue. We get better. The offense improves. The defense stays healthy. Keeps doing what they're doing, and we get an easy win.
Yeah. But I think the biggest for this week is stay healthy. Raiders, again, should be an easy win. I don't want to say easy win. There's no easy wins. But there shouldn't be a team that poses too much of a threat. And it's now that could change tonight after we watch them play the Ravens. So, of course, the Ravens are beat up.
Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh, so that will help. You don't have to travel.
Yeah, first home game of the season. And Raiders too, it's one of those teams, they're kind of like an old rivalry a little bit to the Steelers, but it's hard to get hype for a team like that. Like you said, especially after playing a huge game against the Bills. Maybe the first home game will give us the hype. This is the first game in front of like a full stadium fans in a long time.
Yeah.
So that will hopefully first home game will get the energy up where you need it after that victory against the Bills. Defense got to show out. Man, offense this week. Got to see Najee break 100 yards rushing, I would think.
Yeah, I want to see the offense improve.
Yeah, they got to get better every week here. Got to see Ben get some better passes, get his timing down. He was throwing a lot of passes behind people against the Bills, especially early in that game. The line's got to get better every week. Hopefully we get some people back from injuries. Yeah, Najee, man. Too, I'd like to see some of the other, Najee got a full workload. Let's get Kevin Ballage in there and get him to run a little bit. I'm surprised we didn't see him at all this week, especially with Najee struggling.
See, I think I want to see a lot from the offense. I think the defense is going to give them a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
Really
see if the defense can keep it up. I mean, it's not a fluke. They're good, but I want to see the same level of performance from the defense is the only thing. The secondary specifically.
I mean, talent-wise, they're one of the best out there.
Yeah, offense is the big questions. I want to see Pat Freiermuth getting more into the party. He was getting preseason. He's a good player. I want to see him get into the party. Deontay Johnson, he got used a little bit against the Bills early. He had some big plays. I want to see more out of him. I don't know. Anyone else you want to see big on offense?
Nah, I just want to see some more production. That's all. I want to see better. I want to see the line get better. I want to see the passing game function. I think they started getting better in the second half of the game.
Yeah.
So just
if they play like they did in the second half, it's going to be a good season.
Keep growing on that.
Improve from that. Exactly.
I mean, with the defense like that, you get tons of opportunity to grow. It's all about just not shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
So just
one thing I would like to see, and I don't know, again, if Ben was rushed or if it was Matt Canada. Matt Canada's offense looked a little bit like Randy Fisher's offense with the short passes. Let's get some passes, 7 yards plus, like enough with these 2-yard passes.
They tried running the ball and it wasn't working. So
yeah,
they were kind of forced to it.
But, the jet sweep motion you do, that's great. But if you do these screen passes still for 2 yards.
Well, if you're not able to run the ball the traditional way, you got to try doing stuff like that.
I know. And I'm blaming the line. I think the line was a lot of it. There wasn't time. Ben didn't have time. The receivers didn't have time to get downfield. But I want to see this ball go through the air a little bit. Tired of these one-year passes. And Najee needs to run his ass off. 100 yards this week. I'm predicting it right now. He's not going to be happy with this week. 100 yards. Plus, I got him on fantasy, and he killed me this week. He lost me the game, I'm pretty sure. I needed him to come up big. Didn't do anything. All right, so we both agree Steelers win. I think we already called that on our season predictions. What's the score? How much do they win by?
I'm going to go 31-17.
31-17. I'm going to make a score prediction this week. I like 31, but I'm going to say 31-14. Wait a second. 31-10. I don't think the Raiders are going to sniff anything.
This dude just steals all my predictions.
I said 31-10. I think the Steelers will put it up offensively because I don't think the Raiders is as good as the Bills defense. I think they're going to get better. 10 might be pushing it. Dude, God, can the Raiders get a touchdown against the Steelers defense?
No, they will.
You know what? I changed my mind again. This is my real prediction. 31-6. 31-6 Steelers. We'll see. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Give us win, law. I'm guessing everyone thinks win, unless you're a Raiders fan. I don't know. I'd be surprised if any Steelers fan pick L for this week. But let us know your score predictions, how much you think the Steelers will win by. Comment down below. If you're following us, you're awesome. If you're not following us, what are you doing? Click the subscribe. Click the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter, H&J Talk Sports, also on Instagram. That's Harry. I'm Joe. West Virginia fans, go find Harry at the game Saturday. Remember, find Harry, tweet, hashtag I found Harry. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.